All right, so everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. And this is Keeping Career Connections at Home Edition webinar series. My name is Michael Manzano, and I'm with Career Connection at Bow Valley College. And it's great to have all of you here on another wonderful social distancing day. We're truly great that you can make it out today because it is a different world out there, right? And these days, what this series is meant to let you know that even though your job search, your career search doesn't stop, then our services at Career Connection, we don't stop either. That might look a little different. Maybe it'll be on the phone. It'll probably be online. Probably not. It's not going to be face-to-face these days, but we're always here to help you out. So we're just going to lay a couple of ground rules here that everybody just respects each other. Everybody's mic is going to be off for now during the presentation. But you know what? Join in, have some fun. Use the chat box. That's why we're trying it out. If you do have questions throughout the presentation, then feel free to put it in. And then we're going to have our guest speaker. He might be able to answer them throughout his presentation, or I'll be able to answer them through the chat as well. So as we were talking about interviews, it's one of those things that lots of people don't enjoy. They might not enjoy it. Some people, they might get nervous. They don't know what questions will be asked, or even if the interviewers will like you. Now with technology, you have to factor in doing it all online through video, and that can add another level of stress. But you know what? Don't worry, because help is on the way. So today I got my friend Zack Cormier, the account executive at Vidcruiter, and he is the specialist around all these video recruitment things. So if you haven't heard of Vidcruiter before, then let me tell you that they innovate in all dimensions of recruiting, and they can proudly say that they are the first company to build a recruitment software that can act as a company's complete applicant hiring system. So if you wanted to know something about video interviews, then Zack is the person to learn from. So hey, Zack, welcome today. Thanks for joining us. How have you been?
Hey everyone, I've been doing really well. Glad that we are able to give everyone some insights into video interviewing today.
Yeah, so Zack, you're out in Halifax, right?
Just a little bit west of Halifax. We're actually in New Brunswick in Moncton.
Oh, in Moncton, okay. How's it been out there? Is everyone hoarding toilet paper as well and social distancing?
There's a lot of social distancing going around, not much hoarding. We're actually doing pretty well in terms of the Canadian provinces. We're one of the lower ends of the spectrum. There's only like 120 cases here in the whole province, so we're doing pretty good, I think.
Oh, good stuff. Hopefully you guys could keep it low. But I'll tell you what, Zack, I'm going to pass it over to you. You're the specialist today, and why don't you school us on these video interviews, all right?
All right, perfect. So hello, everyone. My name is Zack. I work at Vidcruiter. I've been an account executive here at Vidcruiter for the past 2 years. Before that, I was a sales development representative at Vidcruiter doing some entry-level business development. But what we're going to do today is we're just very briefly going to run through two main types of interviewing and, why you would use video interviewing and, how you might run into this into your job search as you start developing your careers. So we'll very quickly do a 4-part demonstration. We'll talk about Vidcruiter. You can feel free to, I'm pretty good at fielding questions, so feel free to put them in the chat there if you want as we go through the presentation. I also have JF on this call, who is our partnerships manager. He's on here, so he's going to help me with reading the questions as they come in. So feel free to go nuts in the chat. And then in terms of, what really is Vidcruiter built on and what's the method and why would anyone want to use a video interview? Well, there's a couple things you need to know. The first one is that we help our clients who are hiring organizations, and we'll look at some sample clients here shortly. We help them with their recruiting. So we speed things up. As you can imagine in the hiring world, some organizations do a lot of phone interviewing, which, for large companies, they are calling all these people. And so it becomes a real time-consuming effort for them to call everyone. So there's this one product, which is underneath the video interviewing, which is called a pre-recorded video. What this means is that you can set up a one-way video communication. So think about how you would send a Snapchat to a friend, right? You record your Snapchat video and you send it. It's a one-way video communication, except instead of just sending them a Snapchat, you're answering their question, right? So the employer's putting in a question, and then you're answering it via video in a video response. So that's a one-way video. And then we have a two-way video. Now, what a two-way video is it's a two-way connection where the employer would then be talking to the candidate in real time and asking you questions. So really what sets Vidcruiter apart is the candidates, so job seekers like yourselves, would be able to go ahead, and you could do this from any device. So whether you're using a mobile phone, a laptop, a tablet, a desktop, as long as you have a connection to the internet, you're able to go ahead and conduct your interview. The third puzzle piece is the process improvement piece. So Vidcruiter, because we're a software as a service, which if you don't know means you purchase the software as like a license, and we provide software and the service. So think like Netflix is a software as a service, right? So the idea is that with Vidcruiter, we provide the service and the software to our clients, and the service is cloud video interviewing, which means they don't need to download anything on the client side. So they just log into the Vidcruiter system, and then they start sending video interviews through the cloud. So these are some of the companies that we help. Vidcruiter is an all-Canadian software company, so it's pretty cool to be able to work from Canada remotely from Moncton, New Brunswick, something, you know, an opportunity you might not think that you would get in the Maritimes. But yeah, we have clients all over the world, companies like Samsung. I've actually had the chance to present at the United Nations headquarters in New York. So we've got some pretty cool opportunities in terms of, you know, the scope of business that we're doing. And these are some of the organizations that we help across the world in terms of more recognizable logos. We have a lot of clients, but these are the ones you might recognize. On top of that, if there's anyone on the call today who's interested in working for the federal government, if you are interested in working for the federal government in Canada, there is a very high likelihood that you may end up having to do a one-way or two-way video interview, especially as the outbreak continues to develop. So the idea with this is that now, you know, if you're applying for a job at CRA or DND or fisheries, right, you may run into a Vidcruiter interview. So it could be pretty important for you to learn about how to do these interviews if you're interested in this type of career. As well, we have some other cool clients in Canada like CBC, CGI, which is one of the biggest companies in the world, Right to Play, which you may have heard of. When I went to university, I did some fundraising for Right to Play. So there's all sorts of different stuff here that we're doing, you know, to help companies in Canada with recruiting, but also all over the world. And so what we really do for our clients is we help them build a customized recruitment process that delivers the highest quality employees. So we're really solving three challenges of recruiting for our clients. And so, you know, the challenges we're solving is how do we maintain a cost-effective recruitment process? How do we do so quickly? So we'll have a lot of automation in the software. And then how do we make sure we're hiring quality candidates, which we'll look at as well today. So let's go ahead and jump into a video interview. And we'll start with a one-way, and we'll go through it. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'm watching the chat here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to conduct a one-way video interview to start. And so this is my first step. So in this case here, I'm about to go ahead and do my video interview. How the candidate arrives here is you click on this link. So the employer is going to send you this link, right? Hey, Zach, we're interested in hearing from you. Can you click on this link? When I click here, I arrive at a branded interface. Today, you're just seeing a mock branding of the global management company, but your client can brand this however. So some clients like to put videos in here. They like to put images, you know? In this case today, we've got a little video of a Google intern. This is just a demo account here, everyone. So you're just seeing a mix match of different examples. But this case here, we've got a video showing me, you know, what it's like to work at Google. So maybe the company you're applying for might say, hey, you know, let's show them what it's like to, you know, take part in this process. So in this case, we actually hired for the Prime Minister's Youth Council, where Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, actually watched these videos. So if you're interested in, you know, doing some federal government stuff, there's a very high likelihood you could do a video interview. So this is a more on-brand experience here where I could see the Government of Canada branding, and I could see this lady here who's giving me a testimonial on, what it's like to be part of the youth council for the prime minister. So a lot of cool stuff being done through Vidcruiter. In this case here, we've just got the Google video just to show you. Now, when you're doing a Vidcruiter interview, you need to put in your name and email. So the idea with this is that you'll need to register. No need to create an account or username or password. You just need to enter this information here. Vidcruiter can actually send you text message updates. So you could put in your phone number and receive text updates about your job if you want to. Now, some clients might ask you for extra information, right? How many years experience do you have? Have you ever been convicted? These are optional. Some clients like to add this. Some clients don't add this. Now, before I go ahead and start my video interview, I'm going to go ahead and conduct an equipment testing question. So this is my opportunity as your candidate today to make sure that my gear is working here. So what you'll see is when I click on this open recorder, we've got a little video here explaining to you how to set up a webcam, right? So if you've never installed a webcam, you could go ahead and do that. And then here we've got our equipment. So this is where I could test out my equipment to make sure everything's working. So when I open this, you'll see me pop up on the screen. Yay, there we go. So you should be able to see me. Now today I'm pretending to be an applicant where I'm going to record my responses. So this is really just my equipment testing. So you'll have an opportunity as a candidate, if you do a video interview through Vidcruiter, you'll have the opportunity to test out your webcam before doing the interview. So keep that in mind, that usually you'll have a chance to practice. Where, today you might not normally be watching me do this because you would be doing what I'm doing at home. Today I'm just showing you what you would do if you're doing an interview. So from here, you might be noticing that my microphone and my video might be a little bit laggy. That has nothing to do with Vidcruiter, just has to do with the Zoom screen sharing, because the Zoom screen share could have a little bit of a delay. You might see it here if I clap my hands. So on my screen, I don't see any delay, and you won't see any delay when you're doing an interview, because it's likely that some of you will have to do these types of interviews shortly as you start, applying for jobs. So there's no delay on my screen. Now, whenever I'm ready here, I can start my recording. Maybe I'll make sure I'm sitting up straight here. Maybe I'll center myself. Yeah, I'll fix my hair a little bit here. I want to make sure that I'm looking good for my interview. There we go. And then whenever I'm ready here, I can go ahead and this will record and save and upload my response to the cloud for me, where I can rewatch it. Now here, I can rewatch this response and make a determination whether or not this is the one I'd like to keep, or if I want to re-record a new one. So I can rewatch myself here, and then if I want to retry it, I just click on this button here. Does anyone have any questions? If ever you need help, feel free to click on the send us a message button here, and you could chat with the tech support team. So if you want to reach out to our team for support, our team is there to help you 24/7 in English and French. I don't know if we have any French speakers. Oh, there we go. We got a question from Michael kicking it off. If you record several different answers, can you choose the best one or just the last one recorded? That's a good question. With Vidcruiter, you can only choose the last one recorded. How many attempts do you get to re-record? That is up to the client. So the client gets to pick how many tries you get. Some clients are nice and give you 4 or 5 tries. Some clients want to put a little bit more pressure, like a real job interview. How can a candidate view an instructional video? So there is an instructional video on how to set up a webcam here, Ed, at the top. So this would be your instructional video here on how to install your software if you had to. There's no usual install. Are the trial recordings visible to the employer? Great question. The answer is yes. So don't cuss or swear or do anything in the trial videos. We've had applicants do that where they're swearing and being unprofessional in the trial video. The client will see that. So don't do that. Any other questions? These are good. Okay. So when I click next here, I can go into a mock question. Some clients will give you a freebie where not only can you practice in the equipment testing, you can actually open the recorder. So you could do a trial question, and Lillian's asking in the chat if there's a cost. Yes, so we don't give our services away for free. All of our clients pay, and they pay quite a bit. It's a yearly fee. So that's what my job is. I sell the software to the clients. So I sell them this all day. I could give you a sample cost. Typically, our clients would pay $5,000 for 1,500 interviews. There is no cost to the job seekers. That is correct. Only the clients pay. There is no cost to the job seeker. Sorry if that was unclear. The clients are paying for speed, because now they don't have to call everyone. So it's speeding up the process for them significantly. So they have a return on investment. Really, it's an investment, and the return is that it takes them way less time. Okay, so once I'm done with that, we've got some other cool features, and the client has the choice here. So the client gets to pick how much prep time you have. So up here, now I only have 15 seconds to think. So if you see a prep timer like that, you got to think quickly, and I know I have no other tries. So this is my only attempt, and it starts my recording automatically here. So now this would be my recording. So you see how it goes from a prep timer to an answer timer. So some clients might not give you very much prep time. It's crucial to read the instructions, right? All your instructions are going to be here. So you have 15 seconds. So you know you have no other try. Right? They're usually in place of person-to-person interviews. Possible candidates. Great question, Sheila. So hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Typically, they use this this product at the pre-screening step instead of doing a phone interview. The in-person replacement is the live two-way connection, which we'll look at after. So this product replaces a phone interview. The next product replaces the in-person, to give you an idea, especially during the outbreak because everyone's going remote. Is there a time limit between questions? Typically, no. Typically, the clients give you as much time here on the question page before you open the recorder. Now, when I open this one, I could go here, and you see that some clients will record video questions. So some clients want to talk to you via video. So they preset like a testimonial or a video question that you can listen to, and then Carlos here is going to read me my question. So not only is he going to tell me what it's like to work at Optima Communications, he's also then going to read me my interview question. So it's pretty cool because you get to see the client too. So it's still a one-way video. They just recorded a video question is what we call that. And then generally, how long is the pre-screen interview? That depends. Some clients in the government like to go longer, 30-minute pre-screen. Most clients that are not in the government, so the public sector, the private sector, they'll usually go 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes 20. But you could see anywhere from 10 to 30-minute interviews. Good question. And then sometimes, some clients, they might even get a little bit tricky here and do a skill test. So, if you're applying, if we've got any accountants on the call today and you want an accounting job, maybe some clients will set this up here where they want to prove that you have Excel knowledge. Excel is a very valuable tool, and you'll use it across any job that you have, most likely. And so what we'll do here is you'll see that the Excel question pops up. So now I need to explain this, right? So it's not a multiple choice. I can't click on anything here. I need to explain each function. So a wrap text puts the cell around the text. A freeze pane freezes a column or a row so that when I scroll, that column or row stays on the screen, right? So I'm explaining not selecting. This is harder than a multiple choice. They want to see if you can explain and know what you're talking about up here. And then Lillian asks if this is used for panel interviews. The live interview, which is the real-time connection, is used for panel interviews, yes. This pre-recorded interviews sometimes is used for panel rating, but it's just a one-way interview, so there's no panel participating in the interview. They do a panel rating, so there's 3 people rating the one video. And then the last one is the scenario question. Are AI techniques used to analyze candidates' answer? Very good question. So the answer is some vendors do that. Vidcruiter is not one of them. Vidcruiter is based on a structured interview methodology, but some vendors do have AI. However, those vendors are in a little bit of hot water. So let me show you this. The vendors using AI, the main one is called HireVue. And HireVue is actually being sued by the FTC because of unfair and deceptive practices based on how the AI is grading the interview. So Vidcruiter does not do any AI. We do not believe in that. We believe, and Karen is right, we do not use AI. Emphasis on capital not. We believe that a human being should be watching the interview. So we're going to show you how you provide feedback on the interview without getting the computers involved. So they're being sued anyway. So they're backpedaling here in their techniques. And I compete with these guys for a living every day. So sometimes I get a little bit passionate about this stuff. So in the scenario question, you can put your applicant through whatever type of scenario you want. So they might try to throw you a curveball here. So let's say I'm applying to a warehouse management position, where today I go ahead and I'm in my warehouse and I need to list the safety equipment missing. So if you are applying to a warehouse job, maybe they'll have you do this, but some of the scenarios get pretty hard. And this one here is where I can go ahead and do this scenario. So let's try it. So she's not wearing steel toe shoes. Those are Converse. He's not wearing steel toe shoes. Those are dress shoes. This guy's not wearing a hard hat. He's not wearing a hard hat. And I don't think she's supposed to be walking in front of that. So the idea with this is that they might ask you to respond to a scenario. So they might create a scenario video and then you got to answer on the fly. So that's it for the one-way interview from the applicant's perspective. Now, most of you will end up doing some of these in your lifetime because we're just, growing our client base. So if you're applying, especially in the federal government, if you're interested in working for the feds, you'll most likely end up doing a Vidcruiter interview. So it's important for you to know that this is out there. So I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but the question is there any video recording app software for the laptop you recommend? So this is the recording software. Vidcruiter's providing it. So we provide the recording software, so you don't need any third-party software. If you are doing the video interview on a cell phone, you'll need to download the Vidcruiter app. So we're still providing the software in any case. So if I was going to recommend a software, it would be Vidcruiter. Any other questions before we keep going here? Alrighty. So then what the client's going to do with your video is they're going to watch it, and this is how they're going to watch it. Any advice on how to remain calm during a Vidcruiter interview? So great question. In terms of advice on how to remain calm, I myself, as you may have realized, I don't really get under too much pressure for many situations. So for me, it's a little bit hard to say how to remain calm because I've just always dealt with pressure well. Keep in mind, if I was to give you one point, it's just an interview. If you don't get the job, there's other opportunities out there waiting. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. How to remain calm, just keep in mind that you might have some retries, you might not. So just treat it like a normal interview. Just try not to put too much pressure on yourself. If I was to give you some tips on how to make sure you're ready, background is key, right? Make sure you've got a good looking background back there. You don't want to be backlit. because if you're backlit, we can't see you. So you want to have the lighting in front of you and then have a nice professional looking background behind you. We've seen some people do this from the front seat of their car. I've seen people do it from their garage. So, you know, don't do that. If you want to get the job, just think about how you're dressing, right? We've also seen people do this in like a white muscle shirt, you know. So don't do that either. Put like a decent outfit on. And then we also have all sorts of articles on the website. JF is going to send the articles to Michael, and so you can read the articles. And you could spend some time on our website and click all sorts of stuff on there and do some reading and prepare. It's like the article is how to prepare for a video interview. Jeff is messaging me this stuff. He's telling me that we'll provide you with a resource. Yeah, so someone asked about the tips to avoid getting stressed out as the timer's counting down. That's a good question. Couple things you could do. If you wanted to, let me just pop that on the screen again. So as I'm doing the interview, you'll see that we have a prep timer counting down, which we'll go to this one here. You can actually hide the, oh, I'm using the webcam on Zoom. Let's just refresh that here. So you can actually, if you're having a hard time, a lot of candidates struggle with looking at themselves during the interview. You can click on the hide video button here and it blurs your video out because we want you to look at the camera. So if you want help looking at the camera, maybe glue a photo of a person on the wall behind you so that you're looking at a person and it looks like you're looking at the camera, right? Because you could tell as I'm looking at the camera and talking, it's much more engaging than if I'm looking at myself like this and doing the whole interview like that, right? It doesn't make any sense. So I would recommend hiding the video to stop being distracted. Perhaps prepare answers to commonly asked interview questions. Sure, yeah, I mean, Terry says, you know, maybe you want to prepare some answers to commonly asked interview questions. Couple things to keep in mind is that that'll work really well for entry-level positions. But as you start, you know, advancing in your career, and if these are a little bit more technical roles or whatever, the questions will be heavily dependent on the role. So it's like any interview, you'll have some curveball questions, you know, in an in-person interview or even one on the phone. If I ask you a question, you don't have 2 minutes to think about it before you answer. So just keep in mind that, you know, you got to prepare and be ready and don't take it too seriously. It's just one job. You can always get a different one. So this is how they would review this. You know, I could watch Camille's video here. Maybe we'll go to the next one here. I can watch Camille's video. I can even fast forward Camille if he's talking too slow. So try not to talk too slow or the client might fast forward you a little bit, right? So try to talk at a regular pace here. And then as Camille's talking, the client can rate the video. So they're rating you on a star system, you know, and then they're comparing you. So the beauty of this is that Camille and Christine, we're comparing them side by side with Darren and everyone else so that the client really knows who had the best answer to question 2. So this allows them to get a higher quality of hire because they're comparing everyone side by side. And then the client may also be doing a rating with like a competency guide. So if some of you have been in some management interviews, you may have noticed here that sometimes they'll be doing a rating like this, where they're watching for a specific competency, customer focus, and then they rate them based on the competency. So yeah. And then once that's done, the client pulls a report. So they go into the rating system here. They see this. The client pulls this report, and I could see who had the best interview. So Camille had the best interview here today. Anyone have any questions on how the client watches the video? or provides feedback? Like how the client's providing feedback on the interview. Does anyone have any questions about this? All right. So that's the pre-recorded interview. That's our one-way tool. Is this the way of future interviewing? New concept. Yes. Lillian, yes. If I have anything to say about it, yes. This is better. It's better for everyone because you get to do this when you want. When you're professional and you're working, right? You don't have time to book a phone interview into your calendar. So you could do this after dinner whenever you're ready. How the client rate the performance of the candidate. So yeah, you just see why you just saw it there. This is how they rate, right? So you go into the system and you rate them. So you watch the video interview here and you rate it down here. So that's how you rate the response. It's on the screen here for you. So, oh, okay. Does the top client the successful person? Does the client pick this top person? I'm not sure about the question. Is the top? Yeah, usually the client picks the best interview. It's according to them. Vidcruiter does not make the decision for them. The client decides who they want to hire. But usually they pick whoever had the best interview. Yep. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how the automated scheduler works. Does the software provide any recommendation? Not automatically, no. There's no AI in Vidcruiter's tools. It's based on scores, Lillian, but the client is scoring your interview. So they are manually scoring your interview. They're watching it and scoring it. Top score wins, but not always. I mean, it depends on the client. Keep in mind, this is usually a pre-screening interview. So they're not actually making the hiring decision from this single interview. It's just a pre-screen if you pass to the next stage. So they're not just picking one person. If they interview 50 people, there might be 10 that go on to the next stage. So you just need to be in the top 10. So this is the scheduler here where you can click next. And so client might send you this, showing you time slots to book in for your interview. So they might send you this where you click a time, you click a day, and then that's going to send you a calendar invite to join a live interview. And then once you pick a day and pick a time, it's going to send you the interview link. Do we have any questions about the scheduler? No questions? So what we're going to do today is I am going to invite my colleague JF to a live interview. Now what I'm doing is I'm just setting up the interview on another screen, and I've just sent JF the link, and that link will go directly to JF's inbox. And I'm going to show this link and show the email on the screen so that you can see what it looks like. So here, if a client invites you to do a live interview, this is a two-way interview, no longer a one-way. If they invite you to do a live interview, you could receive an email like this. It's important to read this email. Always read the directions. It sounds corny, but do it. Because here, you can see that if your browser's out of date, you need to use an updated browser. If any of you, now obviously there's a little bit of a younger crowd here on the call today, but if you're using Internet Explorer, stop using Explorer. Use Chrome or Firefox or Safari. Explorer is not supported by cloud software anymore. which means that you could run into technical difficulties if you use Explorer. So just best practice is just never use Explorer for anything. Just switch to Chrome. So when I click on this link, I'm going to go ahead and join the interview. Now, JF has already gone ahead and joined. So I just click I'm ready to start, and I'm in here.
Hello, everyone.
So there we go. So you could hear JF. I believe JF unmuted himself on the Zoom, so that's how you're hearing him. And so, yeah. So JF is my candidate today, and I'm interviewing him and asking him some questions. This is our two-way connection. So he looks professional. He's got a nice shirt on. You know, maybe I go into my rating step here, and I can open this up, and JF can't see this because he's the candidate. So you're going to be on JF's side, and the client that you're applying to the job is on my side. So I can actually rate JF's interview. So I can go through here, and I could say, okay, you know, nice glasses. There we go, right? So, you know, obviously the client's not going to put that. They're going to be focused on the content of your interview, but this is just an example today. The client may also want to screen share, right? So maybe they want to share some information with you via a screen share where the client can click on share your screen. And then I have 4 screens here, but I'll share this one with JF. And that's pretty much all we'll cover for this type of interview because it's pretty self-explanatory, other than the fact that you, again, can reach out to tech support here if you have any technical questions. And you have a phone number. If you want to dial in, you could dial in with the phone number there. So does anyone have any questions about any type of interview that we looked at today? Hopefully everyone learned something. If not, I will pass it back to you, Michael, if you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here. Wow, thanks a lot, Zach. That was really amazing. So it's really good to see both sides as well. So that's really cool to see what the employer sees, and also especially good if somebody has never had a video interview yet, then that's what you might expect. So, I mean, Zach, you've got lots of resources on your website. Why don't you tell us a couple of those things that people could look into on your website there?
So JF's going to send you a link on how to prepare from the applicant's perspective for the interview. So he's going to send that to you, Michael, and you can forward that on to everyone here today. But in terms of resources, I mean, you could do as much reading as you want. There's product pages for each product. If you want to learn more about all of this, you could go ahead on the website and do as much reading as you need. JF's going to send you some resources from the candidate's perspective that you could share with everyone.
That's perfect. I'll put that on our website so you guys could visit our website and then find that link there. So how about quick question, Zach? What do you think is the biggest mistake that people make on their video interviews that you've maybe heard of or even seen?
Biggest mistake is a sloppy or unprofessional background. It takes up 2/3 of what you're seeing in the photo here, in the picture. So think about what's behind you before recording anything. Lighting is important. This is a first impression. You would not go to an interview in person in your pajamas and expect to get the job. We've seen people laying in bed doing these interviews. We've seen people in the front seat of their car doing the interview. Keep in mind, they're watching your video. So, you know, you wouldn't send a Snapchat to your crush as you're laying in bed with pajamas on. So don't do that in your job interview.
Wow, those are some stories there, huh?
Yeah, we've seen all sorts of stuff. The blooper reel is extensive.
Well, I'll tell you what. So we're going to have those links. Does anybody have any other questions? I mean, maybe one thing you talked about at the start, how it saves lots of time for recruiters. I mean, what do you estimate as the time that people would be saving in using your product?
80% and above.
Wow, that's really good.
If you think about it, one recruiter could do like a 15-minute phone interview, but you have to prepare for 5 minutes, do the phone interview, and then take your notes for another 5 minutes. So you're now at a 25-minute, and then share those notes with a hiring manager. So you're at a 30-minute spend on one person. You could watch 4 or 5 candidate interviews in 30 minutes. So you're going 4 or 5 times faster than you would. So if you have to do 50 interviews, you're going to save a drastic amount of time. We have a couple questions in the chat too. Lillian's asking, how long has this method been used? Since around 2009. Can you share your best advice to practice and get better at video interview? Yeah, so JF's going to send you some resources that you can read on how to practice and get better.
Oh, it's perfect. Great. Hey, Zach, thank you so much for coming out today. That was some great information that you gave to us. And I'll tell you what, if you guys want more info, check out their website at vidcruiter.com. We'll also have those links on our website as well as mycareerconnection.ca. But we want to help you out in your job search. And, we also want to give you accurate information about kind of what's happening there these days on the job market. So that what we're doing all month is we're having these webinars with different community leaders and organizations just to give you those kinds of updates in these different industries and to help you be successful in your career. So what you can do is just check out our list at mycareerconnection.ca/events. And next week, you can start seeing some of the recordings that we've done on our past webinars. So we'll start putting those things up as well as those links to all the other resources that we've acquired over these webinars. So we actually had a great one a couple weeks back on interviews, video interviews, and meeting etiquette online. So that ties in nicely with this one as well. But let me tell you what's happening as well on Monday. So if you've had some extended time off because maybe a layoff or a restructuring or maybe for personal reasons, then there might be a gap in your resume. So on Monday, we're having my friend Matt Nelson come out, who also went through this, but now he is on an HR team at a growing tech company here in Calgary. So he wants to encourage you guys and give you strategies on how to overcome those challenges during that unexpected time off and how to get back in the mix. So I'll tell you what, hey, Zach, thank you so much for coming out again. Last question, I guess, if somebody has more questions or wants to get to know a little bit more about your stuff, your products, what should they be doing?
If they want to learn more about the product, the website is the best resource. It's got unlimited reading there. If anyone wants to apply to our jobs to work at Vidcruiter, you could also check out our careers page. We are hiring. Even though we are in a pandemic, Vidcruiter has not been affected. Our demands increased 3%, 3 times, sorry, not 3%. That would be 300%. So, yeah.
That's amazing. Anything in particular you're looking for?
Well, I'm still sharing my screen, so let me show you.
Do they have to move out to Moncton?
We do hire some remote workers.
Okay. So there's some opportunities.
So if you go down to the bottom of the website, you click on careers. Where is it? Right here. You click here, and you can see we're hiring senior customer success. This is a senior position, so you have to have 5 years experience. Bilingual chat agent, work from home. You can work from home, but you have to be bilingual, English, French. I don't know if we have any bilingual folks on the call today. This one as well, customer success chat agent. You have to work from home. DevOps, work from home, and web developer, work from home. So, yeah, feel free to apply and good luck.
Yeah, work from home. Some people are getting really good at that these days. So thanks so much, Zach. My name is Michael Manzano with Career Connection at Bow Valley College. And everyone, remember just to stay safe, stay strong, because we'll get through this all together. Have a great day, everyone. Actually, have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.